back to the clubhouse where the sunflower seeds are always salty, the hot takes are ice cold, and we pretend to know more than the guys making millions on the field. Grab a glove, crack a cold one, and let's talk baseball. How was everybody's week from a baseball perspective? Post-trade deadline. Still in the crapper from the last 30 seconds, Christy?
Yes.
No change?
No
change
I
at
mean,
all?
I don't know. We're warming up against the Yankees right now, so I'm sure it'll stay in the crapper.
I mean, we lost our series to them by a total of by 2 runs. We won 1 by 1 run, and they won 2 by 1 run each. I hate those games. Mike, how has your team been since I wouldn't say caught fire, but you haven't completely imploded? The guys that actually you're putting on the field act like they want to play.
It's been a little ridiculous, honestly. I don't know what's going on. If you had just stuck to your guns last week and gone with wins during the week category, I would have crushed it, because we had 6 wins last week. We haven't had 6 wins in a month. Some months, I'm not sure. Like, we had 6 wins last week. Like, no, there's no way anybody else had 6 wins. Not even Ben.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyways, because he spoiled that point for him anyways. But yeah.
But I needed that point.
What's to blame here? Is this just adrenaline and it'll wear off and they'll start sucking again soon, or what?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, our relief pitching has been decent enough to get us through. I mean, I can't name a single guy now. Devin Williams went on the injured list yesterday or the day before. So we are down to 0 people that I can acknowledge that I know who they are in my entire bullpen. We're trotting we're just having a parade of nobodies coming out of that bullpen, and it's been holding up. It's been weird. I mean, we beat you last night. I was looking to take that other one from you, Ben, last night. We went up 5-0 in the first inning against the Braves, and I was like, oh, Ben's run differential's in trouble here. Let me get this one. But no, Braves ate us up a little bit in the mid-innings, but we held on.
Hey, I said it last week. I got off to the right foot, and I didn't check, but I think it held true. That game against the White Sox. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I told you guys last week.
Yeah, I'm sick of Ben saying things and being right, because that Sir Anthony Dominguez comment you made for me. Thanks, Ben. Love you.
He is what he is.
He's terrible.
Garbage is what he is.
A mids middle reliever.
No, he should never set foot on a pitching mound ever again in his life.
Yeah. No, it's in AAA.
Oh, wow.
Well, Ben, can you, in a similar way how you fumbled your win differential point, can you talk about what happened last night with the delay with the Red Sox?
Oh my gosh. I've been trying to make sense of it all day. I've had a couple different people ask me about it, and I'm still trying to make sense of it. I guess it's a 4-out rule, but it was first and third, supposed to be 1 out, but evidently both teams thought it was 2 outs. So whoever makes the outfielder makes the catch, everyone's jogging off and whatnot, but there was only 1 out. But then, so when someone finally realized, they doubled the guy off at first, but I guess that was after the runner from third scored, but he didn't tag up. I mean, like, I'm trying to explain it, and I think that's the closest you're going to get to have it make sense. It very rarely happens where I guess the scoreboard was wrong, which means both teams were not knowing how many outs, when you should know how many. You're a professional baseball player. I mean, this isn't softball.
They put it up, with the fingers every time, like literally all the infielders. Like, there really is no excuse. But
yeah, I mean, I guess the umpires, the teams, the MLB studios, wherever they're located, they all laid an egg. So everyone took a inning or a playoff last night. But the Red Sox got a run out of it. They would have been shut out otherwise. It gave them a chance to come back. It didn't really matter in the end. But yeah, that was a weird one. you think you've seen everything watching baseball for so long, whether it's Little League, minor leagues, MLB, but, every night there's something new that you see. And Adley Rutschman just looked terrible in his first at-bat, struck out swinging. Live update.
My son was actually pretty excited that he was coming off the IL tonight.
Me too.
Screamed at the dinner table, excited to see him play.
Yeah.
But back to the blunder last night. That was 16 minutes of an entire stadium's lives that took up, just sitting there for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, the reason they came out with replay or started to have more replay or being able to challenge pitches was to kind of speed the game along or not have too long of delays. So literally the exact opposite happened last night. And, baseball needs all the breaks it can get since there's going to be no baseball next year. But as far as like keeping fans, this was not a good reason for fans to stick around, unfortunately.
It does sound a lot of people
talking
about baseball today, though.
It's true. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything like it in other sports that's kind of happened like this, where like where some people knew what was going on, but the actual teams didn't know what was going on, or like the booth didn't know what was going on. I don't think only fans that were watching the game kind of knew what was going on, but none of them have a say, including myself. So, yeah, I mean, luckily this doesn't happen too often where we're all just like, what happened? What is this? So, like, every now and then it kind of happens and we have a discussion about it. But there's probably, like, if they end up having baseball, this might be in the rules committee meetings, like this situation, like what to do, what would need to happen. I mean, it makes sense. The Red Sox got the run, which makes sense because the Blue Jays tagged the guy out on first, not third. And even though he wasn't supposed to score, like, what are you going to do with him? Like, that wasn't where the final out was. So, I mean, I guess the end result made sense. It didn't really affect the end of the game or the score because the Red Sox still lost. But I'm sure if the Red Sox came back to win, it would have been even a bigger story
much more
today.
Controversial.
Yeah, especially with everything that's been going on with them. They have hit a little bit of a skid now, though. They've lost 3 in a row. They're starting to show signs of the early season Red Sox. So, I mean, hopefully they can right the ship tonight with Rutschman debuting. But I don't know. The cracks are starting to come back. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if you just ruined and guaranteed we're not going to have baseball next year. All you had to do was like win that game, create a controversy, and get people talking about baseball because nobody else wants to. Everybody's already moved on to football. I actually have a stat about that. The most worthless game of every single football season, the Hall of Fame game, had more viewers than any Major League Baseball game this season so far.
Wow.
Well, it set the record for any Hall of Fame game ever. I'm pretty sure, right?
Again, I mean, that's a bronze medal in the Special Olympics. That doesn't matter with what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love football, but I tuned in for 0 minutes of that.
Same
here. Yeah, it wasn't appointment television. Let's just say that.
Yeah, there wasn't a week 1 starter that saw the field in that game. I don't think so. I mean, it was absolutely worthless. I mean, it was almost like reliving like the college football playoffs a little bit when you watch some of those players and the quarterbacks out there. But yeah, I saw that stat. Well, I'll also add this, related but unrelated. The Hall of Fame game actually had more viewers than every single Stanley Cup game, Stanley Cup Finals game, which was more than any regular season. So it had more than every single NHL game. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't.
None of that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Wow.
You sure? What's your source?
Yeah.
You've said some wild things before.
Somebody fact check
turned out to be proven inaccurate. I think we need to fact check this.
I think it was definitely the highest rated Hall of Fame game of all time. That's without a doubt.
I got this meme here, and it says it had 7 million
he's got
viewers.
A meme.
Yeah, 7 million viewers.
Nobody's ever made a fake one of those.
I guess it's one of my Facebook sites. The white
Stephen A. Smith
or Black Adam Schefter, one of those two.
Stephen B. Smith.
So yeah, they've never steered me wrong before. Why would they start now?
It's on the internet. It has to be true, right?
That's what I was thinking.
First rule of the internet: everything's true on the internet.
That's right. But I thought that was an interesting stat, if true. I'm going to go with it because you know what? It gets us talking about baseball. Unfortunately, it's us talking about how it's not going to be around anymore for a while, but that's all right. Ben, I don't think you were here for all of Mike's gloating about his wonderful week he's had with the Mets. He's so happy and just assumes that it's going to continue through the rest of the season. That if I didn't try and get a little bit more creative with the category here, he would have won easily with a 6-win week last week if it was just wins.
Yeah, remember Paul said he was like, I was going to go with wins, but let's go with run differential. And I remember that. I remember that. Mets had 6 wins this week, Ben. 6.
I know. You would have beat everybody.
That's crazy.
Mean, there's only 7 days in a week. Imagine if you had a doubleheader. What would have happened? Jesus.
And most of the times we only play 6 games in a week. So, like, that's a lot.
I am in alignment, Paul, somewhat with Mike. I want the Mets to do well, specifically Francisco Lindor. I want him to be the MVP of the second half.
As well last night for your second half.
Sure did. Yep, that's right. He is definitely getting he's definitely contributing. But since Devin Williams went on the IL, Lindor is the only Met I'm cheering for. So
you gotta be disappointed you quit on Simeon. He's had a decent surge here of power in the past 30 or 60 days for a second baseman.
Someone
an
just
old second baseman.
Yeah, he's had a nice little week or two run. Someone just picked him up off the waiver. Actually, his original team that he was on a few years ago that I traded for him picked him back up. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Simeon, for all I care, can kick rocks. That guy's washed.
But he's been hitting again a little bit lately.
Yeah. They ain't playing for nothing. He's playing loose. He's having fun now. He doesn't have. They don't have any pressure because everyone thinks they're not going to make the playoffs.
That could be a big. I mean, they're not, but
yeah.
Cool to see JD put in the Discord the other day that they were only 10.5 back.
Only. There you go.
You know who didn't help you get there to that, or actually did help you get to that? Mike, did you have any idea how bad Jorge Polanco was hitting in July?
Oh, well, I mean, it's amazing that he can get on the field again. Like, the guy's been like a walking injury list since he showed up to New York.
Well, something did come across that I did fact check while I Googled it, and the same stats came up independently. Jorge Polanco in the month of July had a worse batting average than Jim Abbott in his career. Jim Abbott is the
one-handed pitcher.
A pitcher with one frickin' arm. He's got one arm, and he batted. I think he only batted he was 1 for 11 or something stupid. His batting average was 0.95, and in July, Jorge Polanco was 0.83.
Wow.
So Jim Abbott for the win, pumping at least one fist out there, pumping from Jim Abbott. I don't know how we even got up to the plate.
You need to go back to properly packaging these things into a Diddy's Dig segment like you used to, so you can get your jingle back out there.
All right.
He might have only had one hand, but that man still threw a perfect game, or a no-hitter at the very least, with one hand.
He was the man. I remember that guy very well. He was the man.
I mean, he caught the ball with the same hand that he threw the ball with. That little maneuver in his,
he would switch it real quick.
Yeah. And was like, ready, let's do it. I mean, that was crazy. So, Christy, your players are playing like they have no hands at all.
Stop.
So,
thanks, Steve. I see you laughing down there in the corner.
I'm just trying to debate you into an F-bomb or something here. So
no, you're not going to bait me because I do have a highlight for my team. I do. I mean, I know none of you saw it because it was only on Mariners TV, but we had our alumni home run derby after the game on Saturday.
And I did see this, Christy. Ichiro was a beast.
This is awesome.
Oh my God. I was smiling like I was like a 12-year-old kid seeing Ichiro for the first time. Like, that man is 52 years old and has not lost a step. Effortless, just completely effortlessly just swinging. And granted, he's not hitting like 485-foot bombs. He's just barely breaking the wall at Safeco, T-Mobile, same thing. But just just beautiful every time. Just like he didn't even try to swing at all, and the ball goes out, and he didn't make it into the second round, unfortunately, because the bonus round gave you 2 points for the 30 seconds because they did a 2-minute. They did a 2-minute first round and then a 30-second bonus round, and every home run you hit in the 30-second bonus round was worth 2 points. And they had it set up because these guys are all retired, that if you didn't hit any in the first round, you got to use an aluminum bat for the second round.
Oh,
but everybody
all right.
managed to hit one out of the park, so we didn't get to see any aluminum bats. But it was cool. It was cool. And then they did that was Friday night after the game. Sorry. Saturday was the 50 greatest Mariners of all time, was the celebration before the game because it's our 50-year anniversary this year. So we couldn't win a game. We were playing the Rays, but
I was going to say, I was like, that was my dig. I was like, did you honor the 50th anniversary by bringing Lou Piniella and 43 other former players just to get swept at home by the Devil Rays?
Well, it's not like anybody knew when we planned this before the season started that the Rays were going to be where they are. They probably thought it was a cake weekend originally ish. But it still wasn't a horrible series versus the Rays. It's not like they blew us out of the water, but it still wasn't fun to lose every day.
I can't get over this alumni home run derby thing. Why does every team not do this? That is the coolest thing I've ever heard of.
I want to know how much a ticket to that would have been, because I guarantee it was.
It was just after the game. It was literally after the game.
They would have made that. I'm guessing a premium ticket, so it would have been up a little bit, but.
Yeah, you could make that a whole separate event and people would fill the stands in a lot of these
especially
stadiums.
When you had like Cameron and Ichiro and all the, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
Any team, if they got the right mix of former players, people would come watch that. Like, they would love that. People would eat that up.
Well, the Yankees do an alumni game every year. I've seen clips of that. Mariano Rivera blew out his Achilles last year.
Tore out his Achilles just
playing center field.
Standing in the outfield.
I know the Mariners do it too because Ichiro plays in it every year. They do an alumni versus current team game like right before the season starts for fun.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never heard of a derby, though.
Yeah, I don't see why every team doesn't do this. I would definitely go to one of these.
If there's ever a time for baseball to try and increase the fan engagement, you probably should start right now. Like if they're all listening, they should probably start right now. Because I'm telling you, if we don't have baseball for a while, you're gonna have to do something to convince people to come back and watch it. If more people are watching the Hall of Fame game than baseball game, you're gonna need something to. You're going to need unless it's going to be like the Replacements where you just bring out scabs, which would be awesome.
Well, in '94, they used replacement players, right? How was that?
I don't really remember that, though. I wasn't that big I didn't watch as much as I do now. I don't really remember all that much.
Didn't they just pull up farm guys like through the farm system where they was pulling them up? And so it wasn't necessarily replacement players. It was just the young kids in the farm system.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I was pooping my diapers when this was going on, so I don't
I was old enough that
insights.
I remember it, but that's crazy. I just completely forgot about it until you said it.
Yeah.
That's right. Even fresh out of the womb, I'm more up to date with baseball than you guys.
Hey, and
this is true.
And the Braves
none of us have questioned that since day one, Ben. Since we met you, I don't think any of us have questioned that.
No question.
Fair.
And the Braves won the World Series the year after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then lost to the Yankees.
One.
So things went downhill fast.
Then lost to the Yankees after that the next year.
Yeah. What could have been with them?
Did anybody realize that the Field of Dreams game is on Thursday? I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, I did. I love that. That is one of the coolest things that MLB does every year right now. What's it been? Is this the third year, the fourth year?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's been a couple years, yeah.
It doesn't seem that hard to do cool stuff. It really isn't. Like last year they did like the NASCAR game, and nobody really cared too much about that, but it was a big thing. Like, you don't have to be gimmicky, but there's a lot of engagement where you could get people excited about baseball, especially this time. Well, some teams are, some of the teams, the fate for the season is already decided, Christy. So, you get people excited still in the middle of August.
You keep poking the bear. Keep poking the bear, Paul.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it in the second half, but we're tied in points, so I'm trying to get a lead however I can.
Think about how many movies like teams have been included in, like a major league. Like if the Guardians did like a major league night, brought back all like the actors, or did like some kind of giveaway or some sorts. I mean, I think just almost every team has some sort. They're involved in some kind of like Hollywood movie when you like sit back and think about it. So maybe that could be a way to get engagement going, get some actors there. I don't know.
Well,
I feel like we could literally, if you gave us like 3 hours and a bunch of beer and whatever else we like to partake in, I'm pretty sure we could end up saving baseball ourselves. Like if they would just listen to like stop looking for the billionaires versus the millionaires and just think about it from a fan perspective, I feel like we could do some good here and counteract all this madness that they're engaging in for no reason.
Yeah, none of our ideas fix the economic issues, though, and that ain't going away anytime soon.
That is true.
That is
true.
Yeah, it's just so wild how both sides have just fully accepted like this is just the reality. Like you guys want a salary cap, we don't. You guys don't want a salary cap, we do.
But it doesn't seem like anybody's going to budge.
Yeah, like who is going to give here? Like, if no one's going to give, like, how long is it going to go on? Like, I feel like the players are just going to have to, like, that's usually what it comes down to is the players' sacrifice at the end of the day. The owners always win, no matter what.
They got more money.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, they're going to get paid no matter what.
You're going to play by our rules.
Yeah. Owners are going to get paid and handsomely no matter what happens. It's impossible to lose. Like, I don't think in any of the 4 major sports, I don't think a team anymore, it's with TV rights and stuff like that. I don't know if you can actually lose money, like be in trouble, lose money kind of thing.
Oh, there are teams that do it successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you can lose, but you're not like, we're going bankrupt and we're going to have to sell the Brewers back to Major League Baseball again or something like that.
Well, the last team that happened to was what happened with the Expos. Like, why did they have to become the Washington Nationals?
Oh, that was a whole there's a whole documentary on it. That was like a whole like sold out from underneath them type of a thing, and wasn't it? Isn't that what happened? Yeah. I started watching.
Because baseball hasn't expanded for, I don't know when I think the Diamondbacks, were they an expansion team?
Yeah.
Were they the last one? So they haven't expanded since then, and that was the last team to like change. I mean, the Athletics don't have a stadium, so they're kind of like playing in a AAA stadium, but they're still the Athletics. Like, it's not like they've completely changed their team name. Mm-hmm. So like the Expos are the next closest thing, and that was over 20 years ago now.
Well, when it happened, again, it was because your magic moment here. It was because of the strike in '94. I was looking it up. It says they had the best record in baseball before the strike. And after that, they started a little downward spiral, and the ownership lost faith, and they had an entire fire sale, sold everything.
And including Pedro Martinez to the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Expos. Who also drafted Tom Brady, who could have been the next best catcher in the MLB, but, he had other plans.
Ben always finds a way to talk about Tom Brady somewhere.
Well, we're talking about the Expos, and they did draft not only Tom Brady, but they also drafted Danny Ainge, former Celtic player and executive. Fun fact.
That is not really a fun fact. It happens to be a fact, but that is not. There's no fun in that. Nobody needs to hear anything about Danny Ainge. He's a tool.
Pedro Martinez fact from the This Day in Philly Sports History chat log today, where Jim recognized Pedro for being the most recent player to have won 100 games in both the AL and the NL. So there were 10 guys. Jim's question today was there were 10 guys who have won 100 games in both leagues. Name the 10. I think so far in the chat, 4 of them have been named, and still 6 to be known. But Pedro was one of the ones named, and he said, yeah, he was the most recent one to do it.
Just take it a step further with Pedro. He had 4 NL teams, but only 1 AL team, just for the record. Dodgers, Expos, Mets, Phillies. That's 4. Red Sox, that's 1. 100 each. So at least 100 with the Red Sox. What were you going to say,
He will be
Paul?
known as a Red Sox. I mean, like that was his team as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
No, I was going to ask, and I'm assuming that he retired exclusively as a Red Sox.
Yeah. I think he signed like a 1-day contract after he retired. It must have been something like that.
Sounds about right. He deserved it, and I mean, that was a fun time to be a Red Sox. He wasn't there for most of the other crappy 100 years. He was there for just the fun ones. So
yeah,
it was a big part of that for sure. So.
Part of the deal that brought him to the Red Sox, one name that we should all remember, Carl Pavano. If you guys can remember that pitcher. He pitched for
I was going to
the Yankees, the Expos, and maybe 1 or 2 other teams. But he was the big name in that. I think it was Carl Pavano and Tony Armas. But don't quote me on that. I'd have to look that one up.
Wasn't Carl Pavano not a slim guy? Wasn't he kind of a big guy?
He was at the time. He was just a prospect at the time, so he wasn't exactly Carl Pavano. But yes, he ended up being a little on the heavier side, I would say. Yes.
Thought I remembered him, but. And going back to the Expos, because I guess the fall of the strike and then failing ownership, Major League Baseball, and they couldn't secure a stadium deal because their place was falling apart. That Major League Baseball
that's too bad.
Literally bought them in 2002, I think it was.
Gotcha. And then the Nationals ownership eventually just had the highest bid.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys think baseball is going to expand if we do eventually play baseball again? Hopefully it just doesn't go extinct like the dinosaurs. But if we do play baseball again, will we get expansion?
They keep showing that the 2 expansion teams to make it basically look like the NFL and have 32 total teams and have 4 divisions in each one and an expansion.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with realignment.
They put that. I mean, that graphic's been around for like over a year now on how they would do it. There's one going in the Pacific Northwest, and then there's one going down more like in Paul's area, I think is where they were adding a team. And then like there's like the Great Lakes region where it's like the White Sox, the Cubs, the Tigers, and the Brewers and stuff like that or whatever. But
I feel like I've seen a couple different versions of it though. Come across? Has there been just one that's been steadily?
For the last year, I've only seen the same one keep popping up on the realignment. So, I mean, first we have to have baseball and make sure it still has a fan base.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, it creates at least one small change to every division, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then some others get completely upended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's not a single one on any graphic I've seen where an entire division was still intact. Because there's enough geographic.
Well, it can't be because you're going from 5 to 4 everywhere. So something's going to change in every division because you're going to lose somebody.
AL and NL teams together, like there was no rhyme or reason to.
Yeah. I think the AL and the NL, as we know it, would cease to exist. The last team that jumped ship was the Astros. Remember when there used to be 6 NL Central teams and 16 NL teams? That was the weirdest thing. And the AL West was only 4 teams. And the Angels could still never make it. Well, they made it to the one World Series, but they lost.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, it's going to be like NBA where you got East and West because there's no other way to decipher them. There's no, unless you want to you can call it national and American, but you're going to have 3 divisions that are farther to the West or the North or the South. You'll be able to do it that way. But,
yeah, did they just do away with the AL NL setup? And what does that happen to the All-Star game then?
Oh, good point, Ben.
You go to the Americans versus Internationals like the NBA does.
I would. And now how
you get some
NHL
version of the
does.
World Baseball Classic like the NHL's doing, and
that'd be tough though because the international team would probably win every time. It's not like it's the World Baseball Classic where everyone's playing for their individual countries.
Latin players alone would like combine to crush
Yeah, you
trust
just
the Americans.
all you need
They
is the
kept it-
Caribbean. You get the Caribbean. Like it's even
Yeah.
like
The
it's not
Dominican,
the
the Puerto
U.S. It's
Rican,
the
yeah.
U.S. territories. The U.S. territories are could be enough to take out the rest of the world. But I mean, if you want to grow the game, every other game is trying to have games in all sorts of continents all over the place they never have before. But baseball is still just an American sport. So
Minus Canada.
Like-
You can't forget Canada, Paul.
North
Well,
America.
yeah, North
Not
America.
the United States of America, North America. It is a continent.
I stand corrected. You are also closer to geography class than any of us as well. So I will heed to your advice on that as well. But yes.
Well, if there were still the Expos, it would have rung true twice because we would have had 2 Canadian teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know where you would put a team. You already put, the A's are already going to Vegas. That was the quick, easy one to put somebody there.
They said Charlotte and Portland are what they have on the graphic. Charlotte and Portland.
And Nashville is crying many tears.
Yeah, Nashville should get a team. How about a
Yeah,
team in Nebraska? Omaha already has the College World Series, Little League World Series. It would make sense baseball wise to have a pro team there.
No, Little League World Series in Pennsylvania.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Don't they go to Omaha though?
No, Williamsport.
Williamsport. Oh, I'm thinking of the College World Series then.
As I say, we've had one division of the College World Series plays where the Timber Rattlers are here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was getting my leagues that are not the MLB mixed up. My bad.
Did you see? Oh, speaking of Little League, though, so a little controversy. So last week or 2 weeks ago, when they had the Little League Softball World Series, there was a team from Tulsa, Oklahoma that got kicked out because the kids not being eligible because they weren't living in the right city and or weren't in the schools. One of them didn't even live in Oklahoma. One of them didn't. You didn't even live in Oklahoma, so they got kicked out. Today, the Tulsa Little League World Series, the boys just got disqualified for the same thing. They both won their states and absolutely got kicked out immediately. I don't understand how it got to this point, and all of a sudden, this huge investigation opened up, and then they were kicked out.
I'll tell you, they probably rubbed some people the wrong way. Some restaurant that they went out to or some team event. Because how do they get that far without anyone saying anything? I'm sure people in the towns had plenty of things to say because they all knew what was going on, but they just pissed off the right person along the way, and now they're getting screwed over it. So that backstory, I would love to know. This just doesn't happen. You just show up to the Little League World Series, and now you're getting bounced because someone just figured out that your kids aren't eligible. What did you do?
And then a la college football, they got a temporary restraining order to allow them to still play, which was immediately nullified by another judge. It's just ridiculous. But I thought that was
These whole
interesting.
Court battles in sports are getting ridiculous.
It's getting out of control.
And most of them don't lead
kids.
to anything.
For little kids.
Yeah.
I don't know who's paying for all this. Who pays for all this litigation? If I wanted to sue somebody for it doesn't matter what it is, especially if it's erroneous, like most lawsuits are, I got to pay for it. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I don't know who pays for all this stuff, but lawyers are definitely getting rich. That's for sure. I think no matter what happens, that's not going to be a dying breed for sure, is lawyers, because it looks like they're going to be more needed than ever in every kind of interaction.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson proved that there will always be a job for a lawyer. Just to name one. I'm sure there's countless others. But let's keep talking about baseball. Sorry.
I don't know. I think that might be what takes us to the halftime there. I don't really know what to say after that. That was, I think that's a good time to break. And then we'll come back here in a couple of minutes, talk about some competition, see how we'll talk about how Ben may or may not have effed it up a bit, but we'll get back to that here in a minute.
What up, everybody? The Beard is here. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, the law offices of William P. Harrington. credit card litigation, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, estate planning, estate administration, guardianships, they do it all. As a member, listener, follower, supporter of our network, they are offering you a 15% discount on these services. So if you are in the Pennsylvania or New Jersey area, schedule your free consultation today.
All right, let's shout out our partners.
The Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network is proud to partner with Jim Montgomery and JD Talking Sports.
Is this guy gonna stop
Discover,
talking?
like, and subscribe to their podcasts
Wait.
and content.
I thought you said that there were prompts.
Available pretty much everywhere.
They are available everywhere. That's pretty good.
Find
right.
all the different ways you can join the network today.
What do you mean all the different ways you join the network?
Powered by Beats and Beards and JD Talking Sports.
We heard you say JD Talking Sports, pal, okay? Like, we only have two partners.
Jim Montgomery.
Yes, we know.
Jim Montgomery.
Yes,
Jim Montgomery.
we know. Jim
and
Montgomery.
JD Talking
We know.
Sports.
Jim Montgomery. All right, well, JD and Jim, you know, you're our partners, I guess. We've said it 5 times by now.
All right, welcome back. Second half, Clashing Conferences Baseball Pod. Let's talk about the competition this past week. There were 3 points that were won. Only 2 were awarded. We'll get to that in a minute. Can't imagine what tomfoolery happened to warrant that. But let's go over a summary here. So the 3 categories. First one being lowest team batter strikeouts. Johnny has 5 apples. So Red Sox had a player. What was it? Had 2. So the Red Sox got that. Not surprising after their win differential was so high. Obviously, the guys were hitting instead of striking out. Mike with the Mets. Most team hits, 18. That's a pretty good amount for a baseball game. Man, it'd be nice to have that, sprinkle that over a couple of games and turn that into 3 wins instead of one that you would have needed about 2 months ago. But still, I mean, like you said, this last week, everybody played like it didn't matter, and they all won like they were actually like it did matter. It was kind of weird. And then the little controversy. This conversation is not going to probably save the baseball season next year, but it makes for good talk on here about baseball. So we were pretty close to just going with most wins for the week, which the Mets would have walked away with easily with 6 wins, but we've tried to make it interesting. We being I. So what we did was made it run differential as well, and the Red Sox broke out to an enormous lead before we even ended the podcast last Tuesday. I think they were up like 6-0 before we even ended the podcast. Ended up over the week with a 12-run differential. So we've got 3 points won, but only 2 are going to be awarded. So I know the math doesn't math right there. So I think there was something, if anybody watches the last week's episode, I think there's a moment there where Ben kind of flubbed the dub a bit and said his adult words, added in an adult word when he was trying to make one of his points. So it does make the standings pretty easy to understand. With Mike's addition to 6, he joins Christy and I up at the top. Mike, I will say, based on your week and going up to 6, I will say your 6 is better than Christy and ours.
Hey, appreciate that.
I would agree. I don't agree with Paul very often, but I will agree with Paul on that one.
Let's look good right now.
Yeah. Ben?
Again, can't name a lot of the players, but we look good.
Ben, you did go up 1. You could have been up 2, but you went up 1, so you're tied with Phillies at 2 apiece. So cool thing is, this week we get to start with a whole brand new wheel. All new categories, everything is on the table. Doesn't mean it's not going to be rigged by the producer just for interest, but I think it's time we can see what we got this time. So let's get 3 categories. We'll start with the first one here. Ben, don't get too excited if you see a category that you like. Want to keep all your points for this week. Home runs, any single player.
Let's all get that 1. Nobody gets the 2, and we all get a point. Let's go.
Is there a chance that Julio takes that this week, Christy?
I really hope so. I mean, who knows? It could be like Cole or Canzone or somebody else could hit 2 or 3 in a game.
Oh, this is an entire OPS kind of week here, Ben.
All right. We got doubles team total. I always like the doubles single player. I always think that ends up being interested, but doubles team total, there's a good chance that you're not going to have people tied like you would with the other. So that's still a good one. That should get some differentiation. Hits per batter, any single player. Well, there were 2 teams last week that were hitting the baseball, and there were 2 teams that were not. Christy, maybe you and I can switch that around, and our teams will hit this week, and the others won't.
I mean, I would love to see that. Trust me.
Until I showed up here tonight, I thought that was last week's category and was excited that I was getting a point for Bo Bichette having 5 hits in a game. But I will take the 18 hits by the team total as well.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that he added to that night pretty impressively.
I don't know if it was the same game or not, but
what do you remember that game that they had the 18 hits?
Was it last night's game?
No, it looks like.
Was it not?
Now that I look, it looks like it was last Thursday.
I'll say it was Thursday night, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Who was your last series against?
I mean, we had a lot of hits against you last night.
Okay, it wasn't 18, and it wasn't, and yesterday wasn't Thursday. It was last Thursday. Whoever you played last Thursday, as stated.
Marlins?
Could have been. Could have been.
Rockies? I honestly don't know.
It might have been the Marlins. It wasn't the Rockies.
Christy, have you taken a look at the series that you have to finish out the season?
Like the month of September? Or like the actual last series? Because the month of September should be a cakewalk. What?
No, the whole one. I thought I saw where the Mariners had the hardest schedule left. Is that not correct?
We are in it right now. August is terrible. Like, it's Rays, it's Yankees, it's Brewers. Like, it's hell on wheels for us. And it's all away game. A lot of them are away games too. And obviously we can't win to save our lives, but on the road is even worse. Like, our ERA for our pitchers is under 2 at home and over 7 on the road. Like,
so here's what I'm looking at, and I'm saying all the way to August. You're right into September.
Yeah.
You've got the Yankees, at this point, I think Yordan Alvarez for the Astros could single-handedly beat your team. You got the Brewers, you got the Cubs who are hot, you got Phillies, you got to go to Toronto. Then you got this other team that came on hot recently, Boston. So that's a heck of a gauntlet right there.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
So I think we said, what are the Mets 10.5 out of the wild card spot? Do you think you can get to that at the end of this month?
You want me to be 10.5 away? You think I'm going to get to that?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I know that you don't have as many divisional ones. Like, you need, to really move the needle one way or another. Some of that's got to be against the Rangers, and it's not. But, if they win half the games and you lose them all.
I did the math yesterday, but apparently now the Brewers are doing a 6-man rotation for pitching, because I was doing the math and I was like, oh, great. The day game I'm going to, where my seats are like right there, it would be Mizorowski that's supposed to pitch in a 5-man rotation. But now, apparently they're doing a 6. I don't know. So hopefully my team won't have to see Mizorowski, but I think I would like to see him pitch, and I'm going Wednesday night and Thursday to the game. So we'll see. I would like to be able to see him pitch in my lifetime.
I'm glad you brought up the Miz, because I wanted to talk about that actually for a minute. To be honest, it was really just about Paul Skeens, who was on the mound tonight. And I want to talk about some of these young guys that get hyped up and all that kind of stuff. Paul Skeens, I think, is an excellent baseball player. He's a pretty good dude, too. But he has not had the year that anyone thought he would have. And it's not just because of he's on the mound right now. And if he wins, it'll be his 20th decision, and that'll only bring him to 500. So he's right now 9-10. But he's been chased off the mound early, including the very first game of the season against the Mets. I'm not sure what's going on with him. A pitcher is one of those things where you're right. You can lose close games if your team doesn't score runs. But if his ERA is like 5, then part of that's on him as well. And I'm wondering how much, if it's pressure, which I can't see that much on him being in Pittsburgh, or is it something else? And is that going to happen to the Miz? I already said that I really think that he's 18 months max away from a Tommy John surgery. And hey, you never know. If we don't have baseball, maybe we induce a Tommy John to get it out of the way for him and miss that whole year. And he comes back when baseball comes back, and he's good for another 10 years. But, I mean,
it's an interesting point, Paul. I'm sure other pitchers are thinking about that too, because I'm sure there's more than enough elbows, lefty and righty, that could use the Tommy John. So and if there's any positive to take away from the lockout is the pitchers can rest and get the surgeries and not worry about missing too many games.
Listen, how awful is it that you're saying that the bonus is that these guys can go get a surgery to make them a better pitcher?
I'm not happy.
That's so sad to me that everybody's still that the whip on the ball is better and everything else, and that you should try to have Tommy John surgery. Like, nobody ever wants to go under the knife. You should never want to go under the knife. And people are intentionally doing it to make them a better pitcher and to make their careers last longer.
Hey, you get a brand new elbow. A pitcher like Paul Skeens has been throwing 100 plus for handful of years now, at least.
I know.
Maybe. I mean, he's still only 23, 24, I think. I don't know how old he is, but
is that potentially part of what's wrong with baseball? I mean,
it's not what's right with baseball. That's why I said, we're chasing this kid, the Miz, off the mound. You're chasing him off the mound. Somebody needs to protect the kids from themselves, but parents aren't helping either. I think we had talked, I don't know, it was this year or last year, but there's actually not a widespread pandemic, but there is a higher numbers of kids getting Tommy John surgery in high school now, to get it all out of the way and boost their draft stock. So, I mean, it's people go to great lengths.
Well, I think there's more Tommy Johns going on because kids nowadays want to strike people out. They don't want to have him ground out to second or pop out to left. Pitchers don't want to figure out how to pitch. They don't want to be like CC Sabathia once they lose their fastball and then they just dot the corners. They don't want to do that because that's not what gets the clicks. That's not what gets them the recognition. Throwing 100 plus miles an hour, striking everybody out, that's what gets you the recognition. So the kids see that and they're like, oh, I want to be the next Paul Skeens. Oh, I want to be the next Mizorowski, who's an all-star after 5 starts of the first player ever with only 5 starts makes the all-star team. They say things like that. It's like, how do I do that? And I mean, people are always saying you're throwing curveballs in middle school, high school, you're going to wreck your arm.
Well, they're doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now. Sad. Breaks my heart.
I mean, baseball's a pretty messed up sport when you think about all the damage that happens, that you're putting yourself through in football. There's some pretty dumb stuff that people are going through and putting their bodies through intentionally with baseball as well.
Yeah, but even with other sports, knee injuries used to be at least a year plus, and we would come back and you would not be the same player. Now it's 9 months and you're not the same player, but you're out there full tilt. I mean, take it another step, basketball. Jason Tatum proved that Achilles, 10 months, not even a full year, 10 months. And although his shot was a little off when he came back, he's already flirting with a triple-double that first week.
The athleticism was there 10 months later for sure.
Well,
which is ridiculous.
I think that's
Because he's a
I mean,
big dude.
But look at Derrick Rose. Like, Derrick Rose played scared afterwards and then just gave up. Like, that, it's a whole different generation and a whole different mindset and mentality that majority of these guys have now. And yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, everybody now in most of the sports, they're all bigger, stronger, and faster. And you'd think they were eating like starfish tentacles, the way that they're like regenerating, like all the soft tissue stuff is regenerating so quick, you know, taking snorting lines of deer antler spray and all that other stuff. So, I mean, it's a different world. Like it used to be just like you juiced yourself and that was it. Now it's crazy.
Medicine has come a long way in the past 10 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to make Tommy John a 12-month, not an 18-month operation. They need to, baseball needs to adapt the way that like football and basketball did with their like knee injuries specifically.
I don't see why it can't be. If you look at what they're actually replacing, it's very small. It's very small, very thin. It's not like it's just like a rubber band. Just put another one in there and let it go. I mean, you're right. I don't see why it would take 18 months. I mean,
it probably takes that much time to build you back up. I mean, you can't just go out there and start throwing again. Your arm will fall apart if you
got to get your range of motion back
Well,
up. You got to build
no,
everything.
I agree, but Shohei, how quick was he batting after Tommy John though? Like he was batting.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're batting, I know, whatever way he's batting, I guess he wasn't putting as much force on the elbow, but I mean,
there's still a lot of violent motion and
he's
you
still
swinging a
swinging for the
bat that
fences.
hard.
Yeah, he's still swinging the bat, 100,000 times a week. So, I mean, I would think that there'd still be some sort of residual there, but.
Yeah, I'd say there's just more wear and tear with like pitching. Like when you think about the art of pitching, like what you're doing, like the human body is not designed to do that for very long. Whereas like hitting, like not quite as much strain on the body. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this lockout can give them enough time to go back into the drawing board, look at the elbow from a different perspective.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you come out, like if it comes out successful, maybe all of a sudden it's going to be an entirely like swapped where it's going to be a huge pitchers league and guys aren't going to be able to catch up to it because you just went from minor leagues to the major leagues because of all the healthy arms there. You don't need to be but so healthy. I mean, the DH is for years. You could be pretty out of shape and you're swing the bat. But to be a pitcher, you've got to be a little bit of a different. You got to be a different animal. So I don't know. Maybe it'll change the game. Who knows? I'm eager to see what comes out of it. If we do have a lockout at some point, if there's a gap there, I want to see what kind of impacts there are.
Yeah. Well, it sucks. Like when Tommy John happens, like if let's say Tommy John happened to someone right now, and let's say we had baseball next year, right? So that's the rest of this year. And then a year from now is towards the end of next season. So you're pretty much losing 1.5 seasons, maybe 2 full seasons on when it happens, which is that's just so long to be without like the best players in the game. I mean, you see like Mahomes tore his ACL, in December last year? And he seems like he's going to be ready to go. And that's football, not even baseball.
Hey,
and he's a quarterback.
I'm glad we're talking injuries because speaking of knee surgeries, and we have no Phillies rep this week to back this up, but I read this week already that Bryce Harper is having some swelling issues in his knee after a couple days in the outfield. So experiment not going well. Let's see how this season ends for the Phillies.
Johnny Baseball can't save him.
Are you serious? You have swelling in your knee from playing in the outfield.
Yes.
It's a lot of ground.
Yes. And Mattingly came out and was like, yeah, he's running a little bit more, blah, 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 blah. Get out of here.
I mean, they don't even run a half a mile in over like 4 hours, and you would have thought it was, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. But by the way, speaking of Tommy John, I think the ironic thing is kind of a little, not a little melancholy thing, but he actually just wrote a letter to Yankees fans yesterday because he's in hospice care. So he just wrote a farewell to Yankees and baseball fans just yesterday. So I'm sure we'll expect some news about that probably in the coming weeks or months. But that was ironic that happened. But you get something crazy like that, you get to name it after yourself. So
Yeah. Well, it's prayers up for him and his family.
Yes.
Sure, it's not easy. I know people that have gone through hospice. I haven't myself, but I can't imagine.
no, it's a little rough. So you're kind of packing it in at that point a lot of times. So it's
Yeah.
definitely rough on everybody. So
It's true. Also, Mike, about Bryce Harper, his differences with the front office there, and the media does him no favors. So could be soreness, but it could be blown out of proportion. He might already be pissed about it too.
He might not want to hear about it.
I'm fine with either one of those scenarios.
Yeah, I guarantee you, he doesn't want to hear and read about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, they'll find a way to DH him though. If it's really a big deal, I mean, there's no way they can run him into the ground. They can't afford to lose anybody, especially him. But this is what happens. You make a trade, and now everyone's playing somewhere that they haven't played all season. And now, something like this, unfortunately, can happen.
I mean, we can go ahead and call that the dumb shit. Talking about bad things happen to the Phillies. I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. And nobody here to defend it or try and spin it some other way. We get to do it on our own since we're the ones reporting on it. So I think that'll probably do it for us for the evening. Christy, you can probably keep that hat off for a while, but
it's never leaving my body. I don't care. I'm through and through. It's fine.
Okay. Well, appreciate everybody hopping on tonight. Maybe from the graces of God, we'll get a Philly rep next week, and we can talk about all the points that they missed. Ben, congratulations on already having and winning all the points that you will from your team's categories for next week. Good work on that.
No -1 this week, though.
There you go. You can't go down this week. That's for sure. You can't go down. So
yeah. I got new dumb shit to end it on. Paul, you made it through an hour and 1 minute with your mic working well. Your homework for the next 7 days is to go find those AirPods you used to use.
Yeah, I got no idea. Hey, I got to tell you, I think one of the kids that ends up running through this house, one of the neighborhood kids to go up to that third floor there, has probably saw them sitting out at some point because they would not leave. They're only in one place. Same thing with the iPad. So looks like we're okay though. All it was a little switcheroo. What are the genius at the
You fell off there a little bit ago again.
Yep. We're to that point.
Yeah.
It's time to settle.
Oh, if only you knew someone at Apple who could
missed.
get you some AirPods. Oh my gosh! Wow.
I know. Probably that would be crazy.
Just look on Craigslist. You might find someone that might be advertising that.
That's so gross.
Craigslist. I think that's older than you, Ben McNally, but I think that's what we'll end on it. So appreciate everybody hopping on, and we'll see everybody next week.